So it does work. But let's wait for more people to join.
Hey, hey.
Ho ho!
We're going to give a couple more minutes for people to join, and then we'll get started. Maybe we should have some music for this next time.
Anyone wants to sing? Sing a song?
Oh, we need a DJ for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. This is
Nice
a nice
elevator music.
I don't know. I think it's the time to like play your banging track.
Well, I have a song in mind.
No, we've only got 1 minute left, so no singing. I'm sorry. Next time.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so I guess we might as well get started. Thanks everyone for joining, and I hope this Google Meet thing is going to work fine for the meetings. It's not Zoom, but it's hopefully just as good. Interestingly, I think it says the messages won't be saved. So unlike Zoom, we won't have a log of all the message discussions and so on. So please take note of that. Yeah, and so thank you. It's great to see many people joining. And so I'm going to get started. So I thought I'd start with a little vibe update. In the first community call, I talked about how we need to go from 8 to 80 and then 80 to 800. I feel like the 8 to 80 phase is in full swing. It feels really good to see. There's been multiple meetings of various areas. There's been a Meta Leads meeting where we'll hear a bit about it, but there's a lot of discussion about possible names for Meta Leads, like my favorite assistant to the regional product owner. Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's really great energy and a sense of lots of people starting to come together. And yeah, we are way past 80 active people. So maybe we are actually maybe already in the 80 to 800 phase, which is really cool. And it feels fantastic to be helping this happen. So thank you for the opportunity to do that. And with that said, I'll pass on to one of the more exciting parts, which is Daniela. So with the production updates of where we are with that. And also she will remind us where to sign up for lead roles, since there was a little bit of confusion about that recently. Daniela?
Hi. So yeah, I'm gonna share. Well, at the moment, to share, if you're interested in a lead role, just reach out because we're waiting for the Humans app to be ready. But for the time being, the information is gonna be leaving here. I'm gonna try to share my screen. So for now, the information is gonna be leaving here. So basically, when you reach out, please just say your name or how you want to be on the list and your email, where to contact, so we can start working. We have a lot of positions open. One of the things that we talked about this week with the assistance to the Middle East meeting is that we're gonna start like gathering what the departments need. So ideally, if you're a department lead or you coordinate that department, reach out so we can kind of map what you need. We can do that job description, and then people can be applying to specific roles easily. Yeah, so a little bit on the production side. Well, if you didn't come last time, I showed the master timeline. So we have like a general visual of how the event works from beginning to end, with some estimated dates and some milestones per phases. And we have advanced with some vendor management. We have reached out to a lot of our like usual vendors. Everybody's responding very positively. We've gotten more quotes this week, and we're in discussions of more and more quotes. I'm going to have a lot of meetings about that the next days and weeks, but that's coming together. We're getting a better picture on how much money we need initially. Ideally, we will have dates and we will know where we need to pay when. And something that to show this week is a bit of the permit and compliance side of things. So I have already reached out to the person that does the self-protection plan, which is a very key document to get the permit and also for safety reasons for the event. He's super on board. We need to send updated information for this year's event. So we're waiting for stuff like the NIF, but once we get that, things will be way faster. And then, yeah, we're in conversations already. Jorge is doing that, the conversation with the comarca, conversation with the ayuntamiento, to kind of start that process. Just for a bit of how this works, it's there are a few forms that we need to fill with the information of the event, and then that gets processed. And then we get the requirements, needs, and the places where we need to pay. And then when we do that, we get the permit. In terms of insurances, we're looking at different levels of protection. So we have like a core protection, which is the board and the organization. This is the DNO insurance and the event liability insurance, which is done every year. And then we're looking at other extra protections potentially. This is something to be discussed with lawyers, but just for, like some group accident insurance and volunteer insurance, just to be extra safe. And then we have our assets protections. These are the ones that were there last year. Of course, there are many pending conversations on things, but basically it's the protections of assets if we have them. And for vehicles, for machinery, like the forklifts and stuff like that. Just so you know, there are other stuff. So basically occupational risk assessment, which is the PRL, which is Protección a Riesgos Laborales. And there are some training certifications. Last year we did online trainings for the cantina team for food handling, stuff. The forklift and heavy machinery. There's like an optional first aid training that was offered for coordinators. That's something we could check on as well. We have the PPE equipment protocols and all the things that are needed. And we have a lot of clarity on the site inspection preparation. So this is very linked to permit day, which is one of their biggest milestones because this is what gets the event running. And this is the self-protection plan. So if you want more information, just let me know. I can give you access to this. But it explains what it is, what covers, what's required, who does it, and how it's done, what are the steps, the outcomes, and the dependencies, and then how do we get about it. So we have a inspection day protocol, and we have a list that I want to show, which is the checklist for the site inspection. This literally relates to the self-protection plan. So everything that is there that will be checked on permit day, we need to make sure it's ready by that day. So this is a list of all of the things that we need to make sure are ready. As you can see, it's very long. If you see all of those main letters, that we have 26 mini checklists per stuff, but this is something that has been done every year. And this year we have Jorge leading that permit day, so he's also going to be on top of that stuff. So yeah, these are our permitting and compliance stuff that we need to be aware of and that we're working on. And yeah, I think that's like the update for this week. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. And yeah, over to the next point in the agenda.
Fantastic, thank you. Please leave some stuff for other people to do. Like it feels like you're going to get the whole event sealed up in about a month at this rate, which is good. If you can do that, actually do it. Next, Ward, if you're here, if you'd like to give a quick update on the Meta Leads meeting.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We had a Meta Leads meeting on Tuesday. Some of the teams already had a meeting regardless to go or no go. Everybody's really enthusiastic. The meeting went really fast, actually. Some teams are fully staffed. Other teams need new people to recruit. For example, Cantina, but also thinking of changing the name from Meta Leads to something less corporate. What else was there? One of the main things was that everybody was really enthusiastic and want to keep going. I don't know if I'm forgetting something. Yeah, that's it. That was the main thing. So there are some roles that need to be filled, and these will be shared, I hope, soon. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thank you, Ward. By the way, the notes for all those meetings are on the transparency page on the Nobodies.team website. And I would like to point out, somebody asked me to make it clear, these meetings are recorded, these community meetings, and we will be publishing the video and the transcript and so on. So like if you don't want to appear on the video, don't say stuff with your camera on and stuff. Otherwise, I don't think it will show your picture if you're not speaking. So next we have a humans update from Peter.
Did a good review with Ben yesterday to go over the workflow he's been doing to onboard people through his process and to make sure humans follows that very, very similar pattern. I had some changes coming out of that I mostly got finished last night. and we've been testing that today. Some of you have found our QA environment or signed up through that a while ago when I first posted like, hey, this is coming. I will send a message out to those people to let them know that they signed up in QA and need to eventually move over to production. But other than that, yeah, we've basically consolidated the onboarding process for new people so that your association membership is tied to your, if you want to be in the association and also a volunteer, it's basically like one form now instead of two different parts, which should make it a little less confusing for people. And yeah, that should, I mean, fingers crossed tomorrow, but maybe Saturday.
Do you want to quickly give a very brief overview of what Humans is for the people who maybe weren't there last week?
Yeah, good idea. So Humans is an answer to how do we manage the humans in our organization. We have some legal obligations to meet. We have some organizational things for the association itself. We have the concept of teams in there as well. We also have, just as an organization, we have Google Drives and folders and documents. We have Google Groups, which is like a mailing list, and we have Discord. Discord's not in there yet, but it'll come. And all of those resources can then now will be tied to your Humans user. So you get added to the creativity team, then you'll automatically get added to the creativities folder on whatever Google Drive, and you know, the things will just work. And it won't be somebody killing themselves to manually maintain, did you sign off on your privacy policy? Did you do this? Did you do that? It also comes to the other side. If somebody does step down from a role by removing them from the team or whatever, the resources that they were allocated to will be taken away. And that's all kind of automated and audited as well. So we know who had access to what when. And that helps us with GDPR. That helps us with the paperwork for audits. That helps us with lots of things. Hopefully we have less gray hairs out of this once it's done. And we can go do more fun things with our time instead of being, you know, doing admin things. That's the gist.
Fantastic. Thank you, Peter. And next we have a legal update from Pepe. If Pepe, you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Earlier today, we released a revised proposal for the team of Going Nowhere, how we plan to do a more organized and sequenced transfer of all of the critical assets that are sitting on that company into the new organization. We hope to hear back from them in the next day or two, and hopefully we can have documents flying around, hopefully next week, and have all of the legal fine print resolved in the next couple of weeks, so we can start getting hands on deck on the containers, the brand name, and all of the wonderful, beautiful things that you guys need to get going with building. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Pepe. And the next agenda point is for Kate, an update on the Go No Go process.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. Quick overview of what this is. The governance working group formed on roughly the 5th of February. We're a new community-led initiative to help structure the decision of whether a Nowhere-like event should go ahead this year. We're trying our best to be non-partisan and objective as we go about our work. Our objective is to ensure that the community has all of the requisite information to make a good decision about this, which also must be in accordance with the governing documents of the new association. To that end, we've been designing a process that tries to best capture the key non-negotiables, which are needed to make this event safe and financially viable. So this has involved a lot of research and compiling information from all corners. With that, we then started interviewing as many people as we can. This input will help us produce an evaluation across these kind of 8 different areas. And then we'll give that evaluation as an information pack to everyone, which can be used by people if they choose when we go to the poll. And the poll is going to be available to be voted on if you signed up to be a member of the association. You will be able to participate in this poll, and this will come out as an email, and we'll publicize this everywhere. So that's a bit about the process. We're learning a lot. A few interesting points so far. There is a bit of polarization towards this decision, but at the same time, there's a lot of willingness to try and understand other points of views. There's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of organizational knowledge floating around that doesn't necessarily have a home yet. So this is all really interesting findings that no matter what will be really useful. So yeah, basically the timeline is pretty tight. Let me just grab my notes on this. So we're going to wrap up these interviews in a couple of days and start to do the really in-depth analysis, put it all together and try to get it out as this information pack at the end of this weekend. The poll will then open to everyone who is able to vote in that on either the 24th or 25th, and it will just be open for a few days. At the close of that, we will have like some clear data that the board will then be able to review and announce the decision. So it's a non-binding poll, but there is very much an intention to listen to the community, to make this as participatory as possible. So that's the update from me. Julian, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think it was all.
Cool.
Cool, fantastic. Thank you very much, Kate, for this very, very sharp deadline process. I appreciate it's a lot of work to do on a very, very tight schedule. And on the topic of the voting and memberships and so on, Ben has an update for us, as we just had a board meeting and we have some positive news to announce.
We have just had a board meeting and we have some positive news to announce, which is that we just voted to approve another approximately 40 new collaborators to the association. As everybody is aware, as I've been informing you all by email as well, we're onboarding everybody as collaborators in the first instance, because it's just the fastest, smoothest way for us to get as many people in as possible. So those people will have just received an email from me like several minutes ago, which is containing onboarding instructions, containing a link to the Google form, which contains the provisional agreements and everything you need to sign or tick the box to be officially a member of the association. How many collaborators in total at this point? I will tell you directly. We have 70 fully onboarded, fully registered collaborators in the association. I have 71. Excuse me, 71. You are the 71st, Raphael. Actually, I just haven't finished your process. There are still 35 people who have been sent the onboarding email, but who have not responded to the form, which is just the last official hurdle before you're properly in. So please recheck your junk email if you've been waiting for a little while on your application. Please recheck your junk email. Some people have already started requesting access to Drive folders, and I've not been able to respond to everybody individually who is requesting access to Drive folders, but who has not filled out the form. So if you're sitting there like wondering why have I not, what's happening, check your junk, check your spam, check again for an email from me. I think also Frank has just started to follow those people up as well. So that's 70 all the way in, 35 that should be in, 105, and then 36 more that I just emailed now. So the board, I realized there were some duplicates in that list I submitted to you, which is a total of about 135 plus the 8 board members makes 140 something. So that's the numbers update. As I was saying, you are all currently collaborators. We did just in the the meeting tonight, hash out our principles for full voting membership, the criteria. So, you know, having been a meta lead, or having been a lead, or having been a camp lead, or having contributed this year, etc. So we have the kind of in principle framework for that. We just want to make sure we draft the text properly. So we're hoping to be able to publish the sort of official membership criteria, I think tomorrow or in the days to come. And once we've done that, we'll also be able to start onboarding people who applied to become a member but who are instead made collaborators. We'll be able to start that process of upgrading people to full membership. And then, of course, if you're going to apply for a member, we'll be able to consider it according to those criteria. So that will all be published and transparent. You'll be able to see against what criteria you're considered for full voting membership in the association. And once we have that group of full voting members, we'll be able to call a general assembly. The voting members will be able to propose new policies. They'll be able to change those criteria if they want. So it really will be the decision-making power in the hands of all of the members. So that is really exciting, and it's coming very, very soon. Yeah, just hang tight on that. And then the only other thing to mention, just listening to Peter's update on humans, it's a super, super exciting project. And personally, as the one who is manually doing all of the Drive access permissions and sending all the emails and onboarding everybody at the moment, the humans platform is like a dream come true because it's so streamlined and efficient. So I'm very excited for it. There was a question in the chat before. So at this point, transitioning from your current like old style collaborator membership to being registered on the humans platform may require some doubling up of the information. You may have to fill out another form where Peter and I are figuring out how we can make that simple so that, you know, the information you've already given us, maybe we can just give it all back to you and you can just copy and paste it in. And so it's not going to take up too much of your time. It's annoying, but it's yeah, I know that's what I feared. One more form was breaking point, right, for everybody. But the reality of it was we were trying, you know, designing a perfect system takes a bit of time. And so in the meantime, we had to design an imperfect system to just get it up and running fast. And the swap from the imperfect system to the perfect system is always going to be a slightly janky process. So I apologize for that, but that's how we're doing it. So what's the question? Can you shortly explain why the NCA needs members? And if all future event attendees will need to be members? So to the second one, you do not need to be a member to attend the event. You do not need to be a member of the association to attend the event, or a collaborator of the association, or in any way connected to the association to attend the event, to volunteer, to participate in most of the ways that you know and love from the way it's always been. The NCA needs members because the NCA is a association, and an association is made up of a voting membership. So currently there's just 8 of us who are voting, but actually the point of it is that we are a democratic organization who has everybody voting, and for that you got to be a member. So that's the idea of this thing.
Yeah, just to add on to that, the board is just there to represent the members, and there's a bit of a bootstrapping thing where we had an election with people who weren't members because there was no association for them to be a member of, and then the board became the initial members, and we were onboarding the people who voted, and then like figuring out how to get this whole thing going. But ultimately, it's a way for people to organize as a group and, you know, do things in the legal world, which, if anybody knows Spanish bureaucracy, does involve enormous amounts of forms. That's part of fun. Talking about the form, maybe a much more fun kind of form. Pablo, can you take us to some kind of voting form that we might have fairly soon?
I made the simplest voting form. I asked you guys if we cannot call it nowhere, which we're trying to figure out. What should we call it? and 100 of you answered, and we got a few suggestions, which I will now share. And the idea here is we're a new association. We're in talks with the previous organization, Going Nowhere, to see if there's a way that that event name could be used, either for this year or in the future. But in the case we don't, this is the fallback. So we got about 300 suggestions. They're here. They're ranked by frequency. So these are the top 25. I think you can all see that, right? The core newer got 12 votes. And this is not the vote. This is kind of the collection of ideas. There's now here, there's somewhere, there's elsewhere, everywhere. And as you go to the periphery of this, you find Berland, Überburn, Sol Ardiente, Melange, Corallo Fest, Corefok. So what we will do in the next days is we'll set up a vote. We need to see the exact list that goes to vote. It will be around 70, 80 people, trying to reflect the members, but as you just heard, that's in process. We're going to put all of these in a ranked list, so you'll be able to pick a few, maybe top 3, top 5. You can leave blanks. We've already discarded some of them, so we try to deduplicate. We discarded some of them that are exactly nowhere or nowhere, stuff like that. We discarded Fire Festival and some others, or very long proposals, some others that were obvious conflicts. We had to discard somewhere. So I can post this openly if anybody feels super strongly that some of those should make it to the vote. Let me know and I'll add them. Otherwise, this is going out for a vote. When? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow? We need to check exactly what that list is and we can send it out. I would say latest by Monday or Tuesday. We get it out and we will give a couple of days. Every voting member will get like an email and they'll be able to click and vote. So it might be that the top vote doesn't work because in collaboration with the NSL, we also want to make sure that we don't do something that's reckless. So for example, if something like now here would be a really big problem for legal reasons, then we would just not use it, even if it would happen to be the most voted. But we'll try to share this as fully as possible and reflect the community's will as closely as possible. Do we have any questions? Okay, I'll be sharing this in Discord.
Fantastic. You might have noticed we've published an FAQ on the website. We'll be doing our best to keep updating this with the questions that people ask. So we're only half an hour into this meeting. We don't have to take the whole hour and a half, but I guess people might have some questions. So if you want to ask some questions, please do. You can either raise your hand or post the question in chat, depending on whether you want to speak the question or just have it read out by probably me. And if nobody has any questions, then that's okay as well. Maybe the FAQ is so amazing that just answered all your questions. Think of.
Hi. No, I just wanted to clarify. I didn't receive any mail, so now I don't know if I am having some problem with my mail or I am among the one which still didn't have any communication, because I signed up to become a member like in the first meeting we had, but so far I didn't receive any mail.
Do you want to just write me your email in Discord and I'll check it?
Sure.
It also goes for anybody else as well. If you've checked your spam and you're sure you didn't get it, just write me your preferred email in Discord and I'll resend it.
Yeah, like one thing worth noting, things move quite fast. We're changing a lot of there's a lot of changes happening. This Newman's app is going to come out. There's new spreadsheets and so on. Generally checking the updates channel on Discord is a good idea if you want to figure out what's the latest thing that's happened. And please forgive us if we don't have total clarity because we're trying to do a lot of things at the same time. in a relatively short amount of time. So there's going to be inevitably some confusion. If you're confused, if you need something, just reach out to somebody on the board. We're all on Discord quite a lot of the time, and we're quite responsive. Somebody will help you if you reach out directly. Going to there's a question. What is the timeline for getting the asset transfer paperwork done from Ant? Pepe, are you still on the call? Not sure if Pepe is still on the call. So, Pablo, do you have any idea about this? Like, I'm not sure if
But the timeline, well, the proposal from Pepe was sent a few hours ago to Going Nowhere directors. They acknowledged that it was received. It's really short, so understandably, they haven't been able to review it. Tomorrow's Friday. It could be that we talk tomorrow. We have also a meeting potentially on Monday. So from our side, I think we would make time anytime to advance this, as it's a top priority. But yeah, it will depend on the feedback that we get on what's possible. How many restrictions we have, what's just not possible. So we hope to have some feedback early next week. I would hope so, personally.
Cool. Then just taking, I'll just answer Noor's question and then pass to Ben. So do you have any idea? I think somebody answered actually. The go no go decision. There is. I don't know if Kate has shared that timeline anywhere else than on the go no go channel. Maybe Kate, I will share the timeline on the updates channel. Does that make sense? So I'll be publishing the timeline for the go no go on the updates channel. Just check the Discord in tomorrow morning or something. Ben, you've had your hand raised.
Yep. So my question is primarily around the new association and its exposure to the existing nobodies that are out there that the previous NORG might have access to. Is there anything in the way of us coordinating with the previous company, getting a message out to the existing nobodies that they have the ability and right to contact to let them know that a new event might be happening? Is there anything getting in the way of this exposure to people who might be able to help?
Pablo, do you want to take this one?
Ben, to understand correctly, are you saying that?
Also happy to take this offline if it's better to do that.
Well, could you summarize what the question is? Is it about what is the exposure, or how can we minimize it, or?
No, so not exposure in a negative sense, but in getting we obviously know that there are a lot of people that attended Nowhere for many years who have had roles where they have helped the SL in doing one thing or another, who might not yet be engaging with the new comms channels and the new organization. And the most efficient way of doing that is getting the SL to say, here is a new thing that is a bit like the thing that we are no longer doing. Is there anything specific that is preventing them from doing that? And is there anything we can do to get them to change the website, for example, or put out a mail shot, for example?
We have Pepe back.
Pepe's here.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's a combination of factors. Some are operational, mostly getting all the paperwork right to protect GDPR, so privacy laws and regulations across countries. It's not that it's technically challenging, but we need to get all our ducks in a row so we don't compromise GSL, because they have an obligation to protect that data, and we don't compromise the new organization, so it inherits some of the issues from the past. So it's just part of a process, and unfortunately we cannot skip steps, so we're trying to tackle multiple legal complications at the same time.
Yeah, so I'm not suggesting at any point any data is transferred from the SL to the new association, but the SL presumably have the ability to contact their subscribed members and give them information that might be of interest to them. So, it might appear as spam, but it's certainly not any data ownership issue.
Yeah, so two front. I cannot speak for the NSL directors and what they can or cannot do, their own internal legal proceedings for compliance or legal advice. But on our side, one of the considerations is to try to avoid a succession where we create a perfect paper trail that looks
Yes, I
like the
understand.
new organization is exactly the same as before, and we're just changing the legal entity, and then we inherit all the problems. So because of that, we need to be a little careful on how do we do outreach, how do we handle some of the marketing, some of the communications, and some of the usage of vendors' assets and relationships.
Okay, so it's also about it's optics as well. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Correct.
Cool. Thank you. Let me see. I assume the form to become a member, somebody will have replied that. If not, just, there's a application form on Nobodies.team. Eric M, I have two questions. First one, I understand that we do not have confirmation yet about if we can use going nowhere containers and stuff, right? I believe that's correct. We don't have confirmation about that. This is part of the discussions with GNSL. I'll just answer that directly. And then I heard it mentioned it's a major factor. It would be good to get a little more info, timeline, likelihood of success, etc. I don't know that. I mean, Pepe, do you want to take this, like about timelines and likelihood of success? I feel like it's been kind of asked already, but maybe you have more detail.
Yeah, sure. Can you repeat the question?
Like with respect to nowhere containers and so on, is there some info in terms of timeline and likelihood of success? Can we state anything about that?
Yes, similar. So we're working on accelerating, making that the number one item or the most urgent item to secure that we'll have usage for it. There's a couple of ways in which we can look at it. We can list it, we'll transfer, but that is the number one priority we have as part of the transfer of assets from GNSL. Timeline, we were hoping that this will be the first item will clear, and if all things go well, we could have something to share in a couple of weeks. We are aware of the timelines for completion and planning for build and so on. So it is a priority.
Cool. Then thank you, Joao. Then computer creatures, new names just for coming year. When the asset transfer is done, we'll use the old nowhere name again. That is, so somebody is unmuted. Unmute you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean the intention would be to make use of the name. That's I believe our intention. Once we sort out the asset and IP transfer. Then there was an answer to Nora's. We will know more within a week or so once we have those conversations. Well, we'll update you each week, and you're welcome to ask. I mean, we'll give you whatever updates we can. When we have updates, we will post them, and we will talk about this each week because it's an important priority item. Next question. The first one is still about the containers. So I think we've answered that.
Kate also wanted to add something. She said she's in the chat.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, just on the go no-go process, we're interviewing as many people as we can, and we know that we can't talk to everyone, but if you have something that you really want to be heard, you could message me on Discord, DM me, and just say it. I might not be able to respond to it all, but I want you to all have a way to kind of share what you think is important, so feel free to do that. And I'm just putting my Discord name in the chat, or you can actually share it in the governance channel if you don't mind it being transparent. Feel free. This is the time. We've got a couple more days. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Looking at other questions there from Eric. So the first one about the containers has been answered. About the similar size, no, I'm not aware of any kind of criteria about similar size. So that is not a concern as far as I know. And I'm pretty sure as far as the rest of the board knows.
Daniel, I can add to that also, but I think my something I discussed earlier is the reason why this came up. And yes, to my knowledge, like there is nothing GNSL has said in terms of event size. The thing about event size is that nowhere as an event has built up a certain history in terms of permit requirements and vendors and a lot of stuff like that, which means that it is like when we were a 1,000 person event, we were able to do that kind of cheaper per person than we can do with 2.5, because our permit, like we have all sorts of demands on security, on how much water we need to have on site, how many toilets, etc., etc. And a lot of those things are difficult to turn back down. So if we have a smaller event than we're used to, basically our costs kind of per participant go up. So I think that is what that discussion is about. No demand from kind of the other org other than, of course, I think they to be kind of financially sensible, but other than that, to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything like that. But I think that's what that discussion is about, that lowering the attendee numbers will basically increase our costs per attendee. But these are things that we're investigating and trying to figure out.
Thank you. Just to address some points that are there about the mailing list and stuff. Yes, like, directly contacting people is great. And, personal contacts are personal contacts. They are not subject to GDPR. If you go and tell your friend, like, hey, check out this website, check out this event, come to here, come to this event, that's not a GDPR issue. And I personally believe that this network of this community is incredibly tightly linked. And I mean, my experience of it when connecting to the barriers group was that people were extremely responsive and quick. So I expect that that would be a very effective way to get people to hear about the event. I'm not sure which Discord channel is being requested. You can find the Discord on the website nobodies.team. Are there any more questions? Raise your hand or post a question. Wait a little bit. Maybe we do need a DJ for next week. Some nice elevator music while waiting for a question or a banging track. Or banging elevator music track.
You're sliding into stand-up territory.
Yeah, maybe people can do a stand-up routine in between questions. Do you think we'll have an answer for containers before the go-no-go interviews are done? I don't think we know that. We can't know that. Right? It's not in our hands whether we'll have a response about this. Does that make sense, Pablo, Pepe?
Correct. Yeah, it's not in our hands right now. Locally, hopefully, yes. Like we said, it's the number one most important operational critical item, but yeah, doesn't.
I'm here a statement that containers are not the main issue. That is not a question, unfortunately. I can't really answer it. How so is a question, but that's a question to Justin.
So just to clarify on this, what I'm envisaging for the evaluation regarding the asset transfer and containers is we use the information we have, we provide that information, the voters will assess that and use that to vote. That's the best we can do.
Okay, so I mean, we can end this meeting early. It doesn't have to last the whole hour and a half. So I'll just talk to myself for a little bit and see if another question comes up.
Well,
unless Pablo wants to talk to himself a little bit. Pablo, do you want to talk to yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not a build person. I don't know what's in there, but and Is
What-
there any fallback, or is there like a version of that that's critical that would be helpful to know, of like which part of that or everything, or is there a possibility of having like some different kind of event without that? I think from our side, anything that means that the community can use them, like renting, leasing, transferring, whatever it is an option. So we're exploring that. But yeah, I wonder if there's a fallback plan to that.
Are you asking the question? This question?
I'm asking Ants because I don't really know enough about it.
I don't know if Ants wants to answer in here. Maybe that's a question for. I mean, Ants is welcome to answer. If not, I'll. Okay. Do you want to repeat the question? And
Yeah, the question would be: you say they're critical. I'm wondering what's the most critical part? Like, is there a part of that that could be replaced, or is there a way to scale down the things we're doing so less of it is required, or it's 100% or nothing, in your opinion? You can't advise, okay?
maybe take this question offline, and we can answer it. We can answer it in the FAQ, even possibly.
Mhm.
That would be a good one. So I guess I'll hand over to Ben.
Yep, thank you. So just quickly, thinking again about expediting the take up of the smaller sort of event time or small pre-event tasks and things like this. Is the plan for the new organization to use the open source FIST software that already exists that doesn't belong to the SL, that could be spun up and used by us for the new event? And if so, what sort of steps do we need to go through to get that going? Because we could, well, if we are going to be using FIST, then I can help facilitate pulling out anonymized, nameless, dataless tasks, so that then volunteers can start populating the necessary bits that will be needed to run the event. Or are we thinking of using a different platform?
Definitely talk to Peter, and I think Nurse and Hardcastle were also thinking about what to do about it. So I think they were.
Hardcastle was on before. I've chatted to him. He's in a pub. It's too loud. I've talked to Bruce. I believe the conversation was the last I heard was it was now down to the new board to decide whether or not it was going to be that platform that was going to be used.
Yeah, Peter is deeply involved in it, and he will be able to tell you exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah, I don't know if Peter is still on, but
I'm still here. I mean, the gist is, yeah, we don't have anything that would be better than FIST. There are concerns that FIST had some issues that we want to potentially fix. We can AI some of those fixes potentially. Ideally, somebody that knows that code better than me helps with that process, but there is server space already for it. It could get deployed tomorrow. And yeah, so that's where it is. But I pinged Paul earlier, and I will now talk to you.
I'll talk to you offline about it, Peter.
Cheers.
Cool. And over to Anna.
Hey, questions around the website and ticket sales. Sorry, just messages popping up for me. So it's good to talk to, because before the tickets are going on sale, there's stuff that we'd love to put on the website from participant wellness, like about inclusion, about the participant code of conduct, these kinds of things on the website, before the tickets. Anything like sketchy around who to be in contact with, like providing that stuff, and some kind of timeline. Because at the moment, I feel like I have a bunch of stuff to do, and it can be done, but I need to kind of like have not everything as the high priority, if you see what I mean. So I'm just trying to like organize myself. So any vague timeline of like what would be the earliest that I should have this shit done by?
I can't speak to timeline, but I can say I made a WordPress for the Nobodies organization 2 or 3 days ago. Offered it up in one of the groups. Lots of people liked it, but nobody wanted to be given credentials to use it yet. So wp.nobodies.team exists. It has a brand new version WordPress. That said, internal to the board, we have just had discussions about how the association website versus the event website, there probably be 2 different ones. Just from a naming perspective, because Nobodies.team would confuse people. And then that ties into the naming thing that Pablo's doing a vote for. So once we have a naming thing, we should probably check for which of those names might have DNS availability. Would be an interesting thing to put into that poll. But yeah, so setting up another WordPress is probably an hour, if that, once we have a DNS to host it on. That said, for the association side, if anybody does want to own that, I will happily give them credentials to log in, use it, do all that stuff. I only really did the server side because I needed it for the humans. I would love to hand that off to like geeky type people on that team if there is such a thing, or if anybody has the time and space to be organizing those things. But yeah, I didn't answer your timeline question, but those are the other aspects of that question that I can't help with.
So I understand as an update that like there's a kind of in process website thing. Anything around? I know we can't cancel tickets until there's a few more legal things in place, like NIFs for Spain. But I guess it would be helpful to have a sense of when that might be. Yeah, those would be my things.
It'll not be earlier than the go-no-go process finishes. That's for sure. So you have at least until the 28th or 29th, whenever that deadline is. And we should probably, it's a very reasonable request, we should probably figure out what is the earliest date the ticket sales can open, and let you know that. I don't have the answer off the top of my head right now. I don't think we've been dealing with so many immediate issues that we haven't gotten that date pinned down yet. It has to be a matter of a week or 2, 3 weeks, not many weeks basically. I would hope. Otherwise, anyway. So we'll try and get that answer out as quickly as possible.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you can just give me a crystal ball prediction on the Discord at some point, then because like low income will want to there's just this stuff to have ready for that. And so kind of when and who to contact will be the most amazing pieces of data for us. But thank you.
Cool. All right. Do we have any more questions? On I want to so jokingly respond to the Liana comment saying that the Garden of Joe has proven that you don't need to know what's in the containers to build stuff. Since we never have any idea what's in the containers, and somehow it happens. Maybe not in the most efficient way. Okay, well, I mean, it's been just about an hour, and maybe that's a good length for these meetings. So we've got an hour and a half scheduled, but maybe an hour is enough as we get into the rhythm. I hope this has been really informative and helpful and dynamic and fun, and that you're all as energized as many of us are. And I'm actually off to the Barna thing happening somewhere in Barcelona. So I'll probably see some of you there. And look forward to seeing you all even more excited next week. And feel free, again, to ping us on the Discord if you've got any more questions. We'll try to answer them. Sandra, I think there's no longer the time to ask questions. But feel free to ask them on Discord. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the week, and see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you for the great work.
Thanks, Ali.
Ciao,
I
guys.
just replied to you, Ali.
I love you too, Ben.
I love you, man. I love your work.
Hope we see us in the dust.
Oh, I love the countdown. 20, 19, 18.
Cool. Well, one of them was Daniela's note taker. All right. I'm going to close the call on this side. Bye.